Have you ever felt exhausted even after sleeping 8 hours? Do you struggle with weight gain, mood swings, low libido, brain fog, or constant anxiety, and doctors say everything looks normal? What if the real culprit isn't your diet or age, but stress silently destroying your hormones? Stress is no longer just a mental issue. It is a biological event that reshapes your entire endocrine system. Every time you feel overwhelmed, your body releases stress hormones designed to help you survive danger. But here's the problem. Modern stress never stops. Deadlines, financial pressure, social media comparison, relationship tension. Your body reacts to all of it like you're being chased by a predator. And when stress becomes chronic, your hormone balance starts to collapse. Today we're uncovering the real truth about stress and hormones, what it does to cortisol, thyroid, insulin, testosterone, estrogen, and even your sleep cycle. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's happening inside your body, and how to stop the damage before it becomes permanent. Before we go deeper, let's understand what actually happens inside your body when you feel stressed. The moment your brain perceives danger, it activates the HPA axis, your hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal glands. This system releases cortisol and adrenaline to help you react quickly. In short bursts, this is helpful. Your heart rate increases, blood sugar rises, focus sharpens. But when stress becomes daily and constant, cortisol never fully turns off. Your body stays in survival mode. Blood flow shifts away from digestion and reproduction. Sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented. Your immune system weakens. Over time, this temporary survival response becomes your new normal. And here's the dangerous part. Your body cannot prioritize hormone balance while it thinks you're in danger. Stress doesn't just make you feel anxious. It rewires how your entire endocrine system functions. But cortisol is only the beginning. What it does next may shock you. Let's talk about cortisol, often called the stress hormone. Cortisol isn't evil. You need it to wake up in the morning, regulate blood pressure, and control inflammation. But chronic high cortisol is a hormonal wrecking ball. It raises blood sugar constantly, which forces insulin to work overtime. This is how stress leads to stubborn belly fat. Cortisol also breaks down muscle tissue to provide quick energy, slowing your metabolism over time. And if cortisol stays elevated at night, melatonin production drops, which destroys deep sleep. Poor sleep then raises cortisol even more the next day. It becomes a vicious cycle. Many people blame aging for their fatigue and weight gain, but the hidden trigger is prolonged stress exposure. If you feel wired but tired, crave sugar, and store fat around your midsection, cortisol imbalance may be the reason. And when cortisol dominates, other hormones start to suffer too. Now let's uncover how stress affects thyroid hormones. Your thyroid controls metabolism, energy production, body temperature, and mental clarity. But under chronic stress, cortisol suppresses thyroid function. It reduces the conversion of T4 into active T3, the hormone that actually powers your cells. This means you can have normal thyroid lab results and still feel exhausted, cold, depressed, and mentally foggy. Stress also increases reverse T3, an inactive form that blocks real thyroid hormone from working. The result: slowed metabolism, weight gain, hair thinning, and low motivation. Many people are prescribed thyroid medication without addressing the underlying stress that triggered the dysfunction. Without calming the stress response, the thyroid struggles to recover. If you feel constantly drained despite normal tests, stress may be sabotaging your thyroid from behind the scenes. But the damage doesn't stop there. Your reproductive hormones are next. Stress has a direct impact on estrogen and progesterone balance. When cortisol production increases, your body steals pregnenolone, the building block for sex hormones, to make more stress hormone instead. This is called the pregnenolone steal. The result is lower progesterone, estrogen dominant symptoms, irregular cycles, PMS, and mood swings. Women under chronic stress often experience heavier periods, breast tenderness, anxiety before menstruation, and sleep problems. In men, stress reduces testosterone levels. Cortisol and testosterone work in opposition. When one rises, the other falls. This can lead to low libido, reduced muscle mass, increased belly fat, and low motivation. Many people think hormone imbalance happens naturally with age, but chronic stress accelerates this decline dramatically. Your body cannot prioritize reproduction when it believes survival is at risk. If stress continues unchecked, fertility and sexual health suffer silently. Insulin is another hormone deeply affected by stress. Every time cortisol rises, blood sugar increases to prepare for action. But if you're sitting at a desk instead of running from danger, that glucose stays in your bloodstream. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance. Cells stop responding properly to insulin, forcing your pancreas to release even more. This cycle promotes fat storage, especially in the abdominal area. It also increases cravings for sugary and high-carb foods, because stress drains your energy rapidly. Many people believe weight gain is purely about calories. In reality, hormonal imbalance caused by stress plays a huge role. Even with a healthy diet, chronic stress can block fat loss. If you feel stuck despite dieting and exercise, your stress levels may be the missing piece of the puzzle. Sleep hormones are also deeply disrupted by stress. Cortisol and melatonin operate in a delicate rhythm. Cortisol should rise in the morning and fall at night, while melatonin does the opposite. Chronic stress flattens this rhythm. You may feel exhausted during the day but alert at night. Racing thoughts prevent deep sleep. And without restorative sleep, growth hormone release decreases. Growth hormone is essential for muscle repair, fat metabolism, and anti-aging processes. Poor sleep further increases hunger hormones like ghrelin and reduces satiety hormones like leptin. The result is increased appetite and reduced self-control around food. This is why stress often leads to late-night snacking and emotional eating. Sleep is not just rest, it is hormonal repair time. And stress is stealing it. Now let's talk about brain chemistry. Chronic stress alters dopamine and serotonin levels, the hormones responsible for motivation and happiness. Over time, stress can blunt dopamine receptors, making you feel less pleasure from activities you once enjoyed. This leads to burnout, emotional numbness, and even depression-like symptoms. Serotonin imbalance contributes to anxiety and mood instability. Many people treat these symptoms separately without recognizing stress as the root cause. When your nervous system remains in fight or flight mode, emotional regulation becomes difficult. You may snap at loved ones, struggle with focus, or feel constantly overwhelmed. Stress doesn't just affect your body, it reshapes your personality and mental resilience. Here's the most important question. Can the damage be reversed? The answer is yes, but only if you address stress at its source. The body is incredibly resilient. When you reduce chronic stress signals, cortisol begins to normalize. Thyroid function improves. Insulin sensitivity increases. Reproductive hormones stabilize. But this requires consistent lifestyle changes. Quick fixes and supplements alone won't solve a stress-driven imbalance. You must retrain your nervous system to feel safe again. That starts with small daily habits that calm the stress response. Deep breathing exercises activate the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering cortisol within minutes. Walking in nature reduces stress hormone levels significantly. Strength training improves insulin sensitivity and boosts testosterone naturally. Prioritizing protein and stable blood sugar prevents cortisol spikes. Reducing caffeine can prevent unnecessary stress activation. Even 5 minutes of mindfulness daily can shift your hormonal environment over time. These changes may seem simple, but their impact on hormones is profound. Healing does not require extreme measures. It requires consistency. Nutrition plays a powerful role in stress recovery. Magnesium supports relaxation and sleep. Omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation and improve brain function. Adequate protein intake stabilizes blood sugar and supports hormone production. Avoiding ultra-processed foods prevents insulin spikes. Hydration supports adrenal function. When the body receives proper nutrients, it becomes more resilient to stress. Food is not just fuel, it is hormonal information. Boundaries are also hormonal medicine. Overcommitting, constant digital stimulation, and lack of rest keep your nervous system on high alert. Learning to say no protects your endocrine health. Limiting social media exposure reduces comparison stress. Creating structured sleep routines rebuilds circadian rhythm. Stress management is not weakness, it is biological intelligence. If you ignore chronic stress, the long-term risks increase: metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular disease, infertility, and accelerated aging. But if you act now, your body can restore balance. Hormones are messengers. They respond to how you live daily. Every calm breath, every nourishing meal, every restful night sends a signal of safety. So ask yourself, is stress silently controlling your hormones? If you recognize the signs, don't wait. Start small. Lower your stress load. Support your body. Balance returns when survival mode ends. Your hormones are not broken. They are responding to pressure. Remove the pressure, and healing begins.